Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let's wait for a couple of minutes so others can join, then we'll start. Okay.
Sir, you said you will share the
What?
sir, those 3DS Max
Oh, yeah.
channels.
Okay, okay. I completely forgot that. Just give me a
So
second.
the 3DS Max channels which you will.
Mhm. I'll keep a
Okay.
note on this. I'll mail it. Yes, I completely forgot that.
Okay. Sir, like in during ZBrush also, if I am working in 3DS Max and I'll be doing extra assignments, so will it be okay, sir?
I didn't understand exactly what you're saying.
Like now ZBrush module is going on.
Hmm.
So side by side, if I practice 3ds Max also, will it be okay, sir?
Yeah, of course, like that's you're supposed to do. That's good only. But more you practice, you polish your skills. That's absolutely correct. You're supposed to do that.
Okay, and yeah, can I show it to you like afterwards, like after I finish the file, can I
Yes,
show it to
yes, of
you?
course. That is something we can discuss on weekend classes. With that time, we can discuss those things. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Three of you have joined. So okay. So as like last class, we like discussed couple of brushes and all the settings. Now there are a lot of stuff still there in ZBrush, like all these options. This is something also we need to know what is the function of all this thing. So that is something I'll show you a few things. Let's see, I have this one. Just simply isolate this one. Or now, like whenever you have a Polymesh 3D, you will have extra options. Let's see, like right click, if I take a sphere. So you can see number of options are less. The moment I convert this into a Polymesh 3D, the number of options will increase. So it basically, what it does is give you extra options to edit all these things. And the other day I was discussing this thing, like Polymesh 3D, this thing. Nobody else was there. So I'll go to sphere. I have less options. So this model, I can modify this model within ZBrush. Like you have all these options under modifier. When you create any model in Max, you have those like scale, your like shape, size, number of poly count, all this thing you can manipulate, right? So that those options are also there in ZBrush. So once you, but that doesn't work once you convert that into Polymesh 3D. Before converting only, you have to modify whatever you want to modify. Like suppose you have this sphere, and to modify this like topology or your shape or number of poly count and everything, the initialize is the option. This is the modifier option in Max, where you control the number of poly count, loop or scale, shape, size. This is what where we do it. So like you can see, we have align x, y, z. So x align, so you can see direction change instantly. Y align, z align. So like this, we can change the alignment. There is scale x, y, z. I can change it, and z, change it. Then coverage is basically, it's a sphere, it's a 360 degree. A sphere circle is basically, any sphere is 360 degree. So that degree we can reduce. We cannot go beyond 360. So you can reduce this thing, modify whatever. Like suppose you want a semicircle like 180 degree, right? 180. If you want something 90 degree, you can create those things also. You can type it down and create those things, because manually creating something like that will be difficult. So we can just convert the base shape into that and then start working on it. And plus subdivisions, so you can see I can increase, decrease. It's really low, like 29. If I want to make it 18, I can do that. If I want to make only 10, I can do that. So this is all you can modify with the help of this thing, initialize. So this is like all number of rings. Now divide like this also, you can control. You see, So all the loops, vertical, horizontal, X, Y, you can control and modify things. You can convert like whatever shape you want to convert. Like let's see 90 degree. 90 is, you see, it's a perfect slice, perfectly sliced 90 degree. And now I feel that subdivision level is way too high. I can convert this to like 32 or maybe 24 or maybe 16, 12. I can optimize this thing, whatever I like or I feel like it's correct. Maybe, okay. Let's see, 10 or maybe 18. So 18 looks kind of square. So I can use this. The idea is whenever, because the high poly topology doesn't matter, but still whenever creating something, try to keep your all the boxes square as much as possible. Because for a sphere, it's not technically possible. The center part will be square and rest will automatically stretch. So we can do those things. And once I'm happy with the shape, I can go and click on Polymesh 3D. And now this will become a Polymesh 3D. Now you can work on this model directly. So that's the, this works with everything. Suppose I want to use spiral, right? And maybe a tail or maybe some ornament or something I want to create like this. You can see based on the shape, you have extra options. So coverage, you can see I can increase, decrease. Your thickness I can increase, decrease. I can make it thick. So modify all these things. Coverage also I can see. I can create how many rings I want. Then from side it's kind of a flat. So what if I want a ring, I can increase radius of this thing basically. Like this also I can modify. You can see the inside part. I can modify. So all this thing I can modify with this displacement, placement of this shape. How you want to create this displacement to reverse, twist. You if you want to twist basically twist the topology. It won't twist the model. It's twist the topology. You can see that loops previous it was everything is straight line. If I twist it, so you can see this line ends starting from here, it's going here. So and then this twist also I can use. This is basically horizontal twist, vertical twist basically. Subdivision level, increase, decrease, increase, decrease. So like this I can modify anything. It works with all the shapes. Maybe a gear. It's like presets. These are like all presets. If I want to, you can see it have more options. Coverage, you can control, align, which direction I want to align. I can do that. X, Y, Z, whichever direction. Width, see, width is basically this width of this object. Okay, increase, decrease, radius, increase, decrease, skew, this thing, skew, I can just change whichever direction I want. I can modify. Coverage, I can make it full. Tilt, you see, I can change whatever I want to create. So like this, I can create really complex shapes. Number of this rotation, only one rotation, 2, 3, 4. Like this, you can increase, decrease. So you can create a lot of shape. An outer profile. Now you have here you have a controller, this. You can create this thing, whatever you want to create. Change the shape. This is basically starting point. This is ending point. In between, what you want to do depends upon like what you want to create. So you can create a really complex shape here, some nice fancy shape, and then you can start working on that model. And inside this is also you have focal shift and all this thing, direction basically, where you want to move. So you can try this thing out. It have a lot of option. This is like this is basically base modeling. Like how do you do it? Same thing. You do it in Max. You create a box and then use number of poly count, or you have those your uh, other like helix and tube and all this thing. It exactly works like that. You create all these shapes. This is under initialize. So like this, we can generate any kind of shape. And before starting, like suppose you want to start something, some preset, like suppose you have a shape and that matches with a preset, you can definitely use that preset and do it on in ZBrush directly. You don't have to go to any 3D software, you can create this thing directly in ZBrush. Now let's see, once you convert this thing, a polygon. Now this is my polygon, I created this polygon. So once you convert, now you can see we have subtool. Subtool means how many, one tool, then we have multiple subtools, like a second, third, fourth tools, and each and every layer have a separate tool. So with that, you can control it better, like same like Photoshop. Like Photoshop, you have each and every individual color or some paint in a different layer. This works exactly like that. Different layers for different models. Then after this, there's something called new folder. Suppose I'm creating a character or some really complex geometry where suppose there's a wall. On that wall there is a, or maybe we're creating this this thing. Okay, let's discuss with this only to make you understand better. So suppose here I have all these leather straps, right? So what I can do, I can create a folder only for the leather strap. So all the straps will be in one folder. It's basically how to keep everything sorted and clean. So like this thing. So what I can do, just select any of the leather, this thing, create a new folder, name it your strap name. So you can see there's a strap. Now I can select this one, another strap, and move it up. So it will go inside the folder. But if you press again, it will go out, it will move up. If you press again, it will go outside the folder. So like this, we can modify things or bring back here. So all the leather strap, move it inside, leather strap, move it inside. To keep your working process simple and easy. One more time. This is also. Then one more time. I have like see so many little strap. So with this, I can keep everything sorted and clean inside. Whenever you see this white line, that is under that folder. So like this, and now it's have a folder. So if I want, I can click the folder, close the folder, and it says 12 means 12 number of objects. Some tools are there inside this folder. And now to make it faster, I can just click this. It will hide all of them. All subtools it will hide at once. So it makes your life way easier. It's exactly works like in Photoshop, you have groups, right? Exactly same thing. So if you're creating something really complex at that time, you can stack them together in a folder and keep it sorted and clean and name it. So it will become very easy for you to understand, or because why we do like sort it out and name everything. Reason in industry, like you will be working on one file, but suppose one day you are not well and you are not coming to the office, you're on leave, and that day some file is supposed to be delivered. So with your file, your another like teammate or colleague or somebody, he or she should be able to understand what you have done, and he can carry forward the work and finish it off. So if you name everything and keep it in folder and keep everything sorted, then it will become very easy for to understand for everyone. So that is how it works. So like this, you can create folders. So now there are few options here. You can see up, down. Here you can see move up, move down. This basically selection. These two are basically selection up, selection down. Suppose I select this one, and this one is this one. Selection up. So only selection will move to this object. Selection down, selection down. So these two are selections, and these two are move the tool up, move the tool down. So move tool up, see, it will moving up, down, down, down. So move tool up and down. My recording is on, yes. So this is pretty simple. This should be clear. Rename, literal meaning rename. Suppose you want to name any of this thing, except let's suppose I select this thing, it's a metal ring. So I just click on this metal ring, rename. So what happened? Well, like suppose anyone opens my file, he should be able to understand, okay, this one is the metal part, right? Rest of those things are leather part. So like that, we can mention everything and rename everything. Auto reorder is basically based on the vertex count, like based on the poly count, number of vertices you have on that model. Based on that, it will reorder the entire model. Let's suppose, let's see, click it. So based on the poly count, it have reordered everything. So this is automatic. Then all low means right now you can see, if I click this and go to, there's no subdivision, there is 4th subdivision, right? Then there is no subdivision, there is again 2 subdivision, 3 subdivision. Like each and every subtool have a different level of subdivision. So to keep my file highly optimized for opening and closing, what I can do here is I can click on all low. So each and everything, all models, everything will go to their lowest division level at just one click. And suppose I want to make everything all high, just click all high. So everything will come back to your all high. Everything is highest division, because this is useful when, like suppose I create a very good quality high poly and I have a low poly, I want to bake it. So that time what happens, like like suppose there's like hundreds of subtools, and by mistake I forgot to make one tool to high poly or maybe to low poly something. So in that case, what will happen, that particular part I have to redo it again. But redo means baking, I have to do redo again. So the easiest way, click on all high, then you decimate the model, and then you start baking everything. So baking and all this thing we'll learn later, but baking is part of texturing. So we'll do that. So that's why these two options are handy that time. Then copy, as like simple term copy, you just copy it and paste it, copy and paste it. Duplicate, copy paste, you can do the in the same layer subtool, and duplicate means it will create a separate subtool. Duplicate, that we have used a lot of time. Append, with the like append, we append any of other tool or other model in our existing model. Then you have delete. If you want to delete anything, delete all, or you can select one and delete other, like invert, right? So invert deleting. So this is like, I believe this is like pretty simple to understand. This is not very complex, very straightforward. Then you have split option. Split is basically split the model. So under split, we have multiple options. So for this, let me take another sphere, this thing. So I took this shape. Now I have a split. You can see in a split, most of the things are deactivated. Reason, because there is nothing. First thing is says split hidden. There is nothing hidden in this model, so you cannot use it. Group split. So there is nothing, there is no group. There is only one group. So there is nothing to split in groups. Then you have split to similar parts. When you have one model duplicated multiple times in one subtool, or you suppose you accidentally merge them. That case, you can split to parts. You can separate all the models into separate parts. There is something called split unmasked point. If you masked it and you want to split the unmasked section, not the masked section, so you can use this one, or you can mask split mask. So let's do this. Control D, 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 couple of times. So decent amount of polygon I have. I guess I convert to, yeah. So it's become really smooth and clean. Now under split, you can see Shift F. It's saying group split. So if you zoom in, you can see there's only one polygon that is a separate group. So now let's see. Let's start with hidden. So Control Shift. So bottom part is hidden, right? It's hidden like this, but you see you cannot split it. Reason, this split doesn't work like this. For that you need to have a polygroup. So Control W, hide it. Now Control Shift, hide this one. Control W, Control Shift, duplicate. Oh, subdivision is, oh my bad. Subdivision level is there. Control Shift, duplicate the model. Now you can see we have group split. And then if I want to hide something, oh sorry. So you can see I just hide this section. Now I can delete it. Like if I want to split, and it will become a separate subtool altogether. Then we have group split. So let's see, this is my model. I create, let's create some random shape and Shift F, Control W. So this part become red. This is more of, I don't know, some color, brown, green, I don't know what it is. So you have two different polygroups here. Click polygroup split. It will separate the polygroups. See, like this. Then you have split to parts. Split to parts means, suppose you have one model. Let me open something. This one only. You have this model, and within this subtool you have multiple shapes. So I can just press like Gizmo W and Control Shift and drag. I just created 4 duplicated models. All the polygroups and everything is exactly same, but I want them separate. So I can use split to parts. So everything will become separate. Split to similar parts means, suppose you have multiple shapes. Let's see. Let me merge them. Merge, and append a box. And this box also, so 3 boxes. And let's move it here so I can see all of them. Or I can simply rotate it. That will be easy if I rotate it. So you can see all of them together. So now these two separate subtool. If I merge them, let's select this one, merge down. So everything is merged now. So now if I go to split, you can see there's something called split to similar parts. Model which are similar, they will be grouped automatically and splitted. So let's click this. So you can see all the spherical shapes are separate, all the box are separated automatically. So this is like suppose you have a model, and on that model you have a lot of like suppose some same shape repeating multiple times, and you accidentally or you wantedly you merged it, but now you want to separate them in one click. That time you use this. Based on the shape of the model, it will split them together. So it's a very handy tool, because as of now we are doing simple modeling. In future we'll be doing complex modeling. That time we will be using all these options a lot of times. Then something called split masked point. So let's see, I masked it, split masked point. So it will separate only the mask section. And here, let's see, I just use this thing, split unmasked point, like this part. So like this also I can separate everything. That makes my life way easier. This is also like pretty simple, not very complex, I believe. It's just matter of practice. If you practice this thing multiple times, you will learn it very easily. It's pretty simple. Then we have merge. Merge, like merge down, obvious literal meaning, merge it to merge this model to, so this subtool to down, downwards. Merge down, merge, select this, merge down, merge down. Then you have merge similar options. So let's split the merge to split to similar of similar this thing. Now go to merge, merge similar. So it will merge all the up these shapes together automatically because they were separated. Like this one also is split to parts, all of them separated, merge, similar, everything merged again back to same thing. Right, so it's like very little. It's nothing complicated here. Then you have something called merge visible, like whatever visible on screen, it will merge those things. Let's see. I don't want to merge this box here, or maybe I don't want to merge this thing. I want to merge this box and these two. So whatever is visible on screen, so this one is not visible, rest both the things are visible. Like if I click merge visible, you will see nothing happened here, but your this entire menu shift down slightly because it merged this or this thing, the entire thing, whatever is visible, and create a separate tool. So if you remember from our previous class, I said all these are different files. They are not same file. So it creates a separate file for merge. If you use merge visible, it is handy when you create a very complex model with a lot of subtool, because if it just simply replace everything in that model and you want to undo it, it won't work. It might crash also. That's why it always creates a separate file. So if I want to go there, I have to click here. So you can see if I click, correct only, no? What I did here, I didn't understand. These two supposed to merge. Yeah, this one. Sorry. You can see it rename this thing merged PM3DS, whatever file you have selected based on that. So it's all merged into one subtool. Now after that, let's see. I have this thing. Let's delete this one, or maybe I can let's delete this one. Delete, and delete. So now I have these models, and you can see there is something called weld and UV. So I should undo this, I believe. Okay, I have, okay, this one, Polymesh 3D. Yeah, Polymesh 3D, Control W, everything same group. So now here you can see there's something called weld and UV, but it's deactivated. You cannot really access it. Reason, weld is something like, suppose I want to merge and weld it. So let's see. Tool masked, split, mask point, both are separated. Now merge. So merge, I have these two subtools, and here's something called weld. Like that means merge and weld the vertices. And then there's another called UV. If your model have UV, preserve the UV. Do not, whenever you merge any two objects, it basically deletes your UV. In ZBrush, that's a bit ZBrush default setting. But if you want to retain the UV, in that case, switch on UV. So right now, if I switch on weld and merge down, so now you can see both become one single polygroup because it merged all the vertices and it become one single polygroup. It's not separate anymore. So with weld, it basically welds this thing. And in our case, our model doesn't have any UV. Let's see. To check UV, you can go to down UV map option. If this morph UV is activate, it's active. That means your model have UV. And in ZBrush also you can do UV. So let's try this thing out. Let's see. I'll just simply Control W, two different polygroups. Go to Z plug. There's something called UV master. Click on this and just simply click retain the polygroup. So it will cut the UV from here and separate the mesh. So let's see. Unwrap. Done. You can see this morph thing is activated, active now. Click on this and it will show you the UV. It's it's still 3D model. It just shows you the preview of 3D like this. Click it back, go back to 3D version again. So now, subtool, we have UV option. So what I have to do is, first I have to split group. I just split it, both of them, and let's see, check my UV. UV is still there, you can see. Subtool. Now, if you merge them directly, you will lose UV. So what you can do, switch on your UV. So it's basically enables your UV. So UV will be preserved. It won't delete. The weld and UV both are selected, merge down. So it will retain the polygroup. And if you go to UV, you can see that morph UV is still there. So it preserves the UV. So it becomes very handy when we are creating high poly model, or maybe we're like creating, so because there will be a lot of cases when we will push our high poly model like lowest division to max and unwrap the model, because we need some specific detail on that surface. And for that we need UV, because we need some texture, something. That's why we have to create UV. So we can use this technique. So don't worry, because I know there are a lot of stuff, so we'll cover everything one by one. Oh, one more thing. This week's timetable, we have 4 days of class, 4 days class, right? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So instead of that, we'll have class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Reason, this week we have a lot of this college may open, maybe, may not be, because we are trying for those things. So there are a lot of official activities and things to be done. So that's why one day I have to I won't be able to give you enough time. So that's why. So I already discussed this with Vinay sir. Vinay sir, I guess you know, maybe no. So I already discussed with him. So he said, okay. So for this week, from next week will be normal only. Again, same. Okay. Now after merge, all this thing we covered. Now we have Boolean. So Boolean is exact same Boolean what we have in Max. Same thing. It does the same exact thing, but Boolean, there's 2 different ways of doing it. Let's see. I append a box here. So box is placed here. So you can see I can create this Boolean. I can just simply select the model, and you can see all these options here. There is the arrow, there's 2 visible parts, then you have you see the one white, one black, and you have intersection. Basically these options are for Boolean. And if you click on this arrow, it means start from here. This is the main model, and whatever you're going to Boolean from, you have to use this model as the base and Boolean it from this. Click on this, start Boolean, and the base, this one, what you want to do, you want to union these first two. These 2 white circles are basically union that you already have in Max. Exactly same thing. Then you have intersection. Then you have subtract, and then you have intersection. So I can use any one of them. I can union them. I can, if I want, I can subtract them, or I can intersect them. So okay, but problem is, you can see I can use these 2, but it's not activated, and I really can't see anything what is going on. So what I have to do is I have to click on this option, live Boolean. So click on this, Shift F. So now you can see the preview. It's just a preview, and you can see now this option is active. So I can union, it will look like this, it will weld both the models. Subtract, it will subtract the model. Intersection, only the intersection part of the model, like this. I can see. And the best part of this tool is I can move the model also in real time. I can move the model and create whatever I want to create. 15-degree, I rotated this thing. So it will give me a preview of a in real time, like what this thing is going to do. See, I can modify things very easily. So with this, we're like creating hard surface model, like suppose you have an armor or a boxism model or something, those things you can create like this. It's just a preview. This is not your model. It's just a preview. So it's both the shape exist, nothing changed. It's just giving a preview, like what if you boolean it, what going to happen. So like suppose I want to create this shape, so I have to click on this model, and same like merge visible, it will create a separate tool. Click on this, make boolean mesh, and you can see nothing changed here, but there is a shape came here, you mesh something. Click on this, you can see it's the same model. Shift F, now you can see all the inside group topology, everything, and you can see it's wherever you have this connecting point, it will automatically create triangles and connect it. So like this, you can generate nice Boolean shapes and generate nice hard surface models very easily. So, so like this, we can create everything and make things. And let's see this. I'll go back to our previous model, Shift F. And this is basically allow dynamic subdivision. Like dynamic subdivision is you have to select this model and go to geometry. There's something called dynamic subdivision. Activate it, and number of subdivision you can increase 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. So basically, if you boolean this, it will retain this subdivision. Allow this and make boolean mesh. It will create one more model here. I believe it's not this one. Where is the model? Where is the model? No. And it's applied, but why it's not working? That's strange. Okay, I'll check this. I don't know, like due to some strange reason, it should work. It basically subdivide the model and create this thing. Anyways, I'll check this. Now, remesh. Remesh is basically remesh all the visible tools. So let's see, we go back to this one. Shift F, you can see the poly count, polish it all, click this. It basically remesh the entire model. And you can see there is something called like this symmetry. It works in symmetry. So I can switch to any one of them. It remesh the model and create this thing in symmetry. So I can switch off symmetry also. Dynamic subdivision is applied here. Now it's showing dynamic subdivision. That's strange because I switched on. Okay. Okay, I'll click this and switch on your symmetry. You can see unify remesh visible subtool, and you can see this arrow. It basically means symmetry. Click this. So now this time it won't do any symmetry, and it will create a separate tool altogether. It won't affect your base model. It will recreate the model in a separate subtool. So, but you can see this is not very nicely done. This is very wobbly because of this polish and all. That is something we can control. Switch off this thing. Let's see, I'll go back here and increase the polish. So remesh polish, like I can activate, deactivate. So it will create one more this thing, or solo is on. So you can see it polished the edges, but it's still not very clean. So usually we don't use it a lot because this doesn't give you a nice clean polished model. It gives you a dirty model. Yes, like there will be cases like when I want a like surface detail, like all this thing, I want this kind of shape, maybe some structure, broken structure, so I can use it as a base and all. So but this is something personally I never used it. I never used it and never going to use also, because instead of remesh all, we have something z remesh. That's works beautifully. I'll come to that. Now we have project. So project is basically, let's see, I'll delete all this thing. Delete. So this is my base model. Control D D. Okay, so I control D D and control shift D I did, and hide that model. Only this model is visible. I want to create some design here. So let's see, BDS, or some design or some detail basically, or maybe suppose some design also I want to create. I can definitely do that. So just create some simple design. So like some design. Okay, I created this thing, some basic random design or something. After this, now this is what I have created, but I want this on a low poly model, and this particular model, if you see, have three subdivision, and accidentally I deleted this. Now I want all the subdivision back, and plus right now polygroups are different. Control W to get us one polygroup, and the loops are not aligned with the shape, because it should follow the shape also, right? So that is good modeling. It should follow the shape. So right now it have all the geometrical shape, but it's a bad modeling. So how do I fix it? I'll go to something called Z remesher. We just did remesh. This is Z remesher. This is something we're going to use again and again a lot of time for to creating all our model and clean everything. We have used it already a lot of time. So just click on this Z remesher. It will regenerate, re-topologize the entire model and create a loop according to the shape of the model. So you can see previously everything was straight. Now it follows the shape of the model. And I can see there's a pinch or something. So what I'll do, I'll remesh it one more time. It will give me a decently clean model. But Shift F, you can see I lost a lot of detail, like the depth and all. So what I'll do now, my project is here. So this was my actual oh, my bad. I have modified that model itself. So yeah, this is my model. Control Shift D. No, array, garbad ho gaya. Just give me a second. Append. Oh, now it's fine, I believe. Yeah. So I have this model. So previously it was like this, right? Really low poly, and this is you can see with proper no topology, nothing. So I want to project this detail on this model. So how do I do it? Control D, add subdivision, go to project, and just click on project. Do not modify these two unless you really know what you are doing. Mean, basically mean, like we have this average, right? Average, like in maths we use the mean something, I forgot the term. In maths we have this mean thing, right? So say it's exactly the same thing, and this is the distance of the model it's going to project. So click on this, you can see we'll get little bit detail, but there is not enough polygons for to retain the detail. Control D one more time, project all, control D one more time, project all. So like this, you can modify and get all the details here. But you can see what is happening here is, the base shape, this model Okay, this is the wrong model. अरे यार, I want this. That I wanted it, needed that Boolean model. Okay, I deleted accidentally. So I didn't have to deal with this only. I wanted needed this Boolean mesh only. So, anyways, same only, same only. Okay, so this is my model. I'm going to project Control D, D. So you can see the surface is slightly outside this model. That's why it's not projecting properly. So what I'll do is I'll increase the scale very little of my main base, or maybe this one, reduce it, any one of them. Now select the model, project all, Control D, project all, Control D, project all. So you can see wherever the difference of the shape was there, it's not creating it properly. So what I can do is reduce it. Everything is reduced. Project all, Control D, project all, Control D, project all. So it's projecting. I'm doing it wrong, I believe. It should be cover that design. Sorry, my mistake. Control D, project, Control D, project. So I can project all these things like this, but it's still creating this weird shape. How? Just give me a second. There's some mistake I did. Sphere. Okay. Control Shift D, duplicate the model. D3S, LAM standard. Or some design I want to create, or just a cut or something. So I want to design, project this thing on this model. This is my model. So this I want to project, move it down. This should be up. Control D, D, project all. Why it's not working? Correct only. Okay, correct.
Sir, I have a question. Like the live Boolean is on, so that's why is it creating a trouble?
No, because Boolean is deactivated anyways. I haven't started Boolean here. But why it's creating problem? This I never seen this. It's very strange. Let me hide this. I create some shape, and it should project directly on this without any problem. I reset something or did something. Both are visible now. Still, it's doing it inverted. Okay, let's see. I change the mean distance to 1. Still, it's doing inverted, right? Doing it entirely wrong way. That's depth supposed to change, but it's not changing. There's no polygroup also. This never happened. Like I use it all the time. Let's see. Solo. And let's see, I create some detail here. I created this thing and move it outside. This one outside. Control Shift D. And let me see the image, the model. Okay. Now Shift hide everything. So I have low poly and high poly. Select any one of them, project. Yeah, it's what, see, I projected snap to the model. So if I go back to this model, let's create some shape. Something I created, go back. Yeah, see, it's working here perfectly without any problem. I guess that geometry, some error happened there or something, some step I messed up, something I did. Here it's working perfectly without any problem. So you can see basically snap back to that shape. So I'll get all the subdivision also and all the retain all the detail. It works perfectly. And this is default setting only, nothing I have changed. Okay, I'll cross check that again. I'll do that. So like till now you can practice this thing. Then still we have a lot of stuff to go cover. So we'll cover. So tomorrow, like, if tomorrow we have class, so I'll go a little faster, not this slow, slightly faster, so that we can cover all the tools and then we can start off with the start finishing our entire model.
Sir, could you please repeat the project all once?
Project, yes. Project basically, okay, let's see. I just undo this entire thing, undo my model, undo. So it was like this. This is, suppose this is my base model, right? Completely flat. And this is my model with details, like some fold and all is there. So I created a like model with nice detail, and I now then I retopo the model and I want to project it back. Just create this thing. Let's see. Just quickly create the shape. So this is what I have created. This is my suppose high poly, and this is my lowest this file. But I want this detail on this surface. So what I'll do, I'll move this detail thing up, and lower file is my low poly. Control D, add some subdivision level. Go to project, click on project. Control, so control it's too much less, control D. So it should work now. Project, control D, project. So it's working. So sometime it will give you this kind of little error, but this much I can hand manage. It was previously it was too much. So I just simply smooth that section.
So it's basically copying the design from one model to
Yes,
second.
yes, yes. That is what is called projection. So we can do that. See,
Sir, and the Z remesher is working like turbo smooth, like
no. Z remesh means it's remeshing, like re-topologizing the entire model. So let's see. This is something. Okay. Delete any one of them. Let's do it quickly. I have another class now. So suppose I have this model. Okay, no, this is not very good. Delete. Shift F. So you can see it's a sphere, right? And if I create some design on this. Okay, this is a poly. This I have to convert to polymesh 3D. That's why it's not working. So this is sphere. All you can see, everything lines are straight. So if I create a shape, so basic logic, whenever I create a model, our loops usually follow, like our lines topology follows that shape, right? Like all these loops, if I create it manually, so it will follow this direction instead of straight line. That's how it's supposed to be. So if I remesh, it will retain the shape. Shape will be the same. Only Z remesh, it will read the file details, all the depth and everything, and recreate the topology. So remesh. See, it changed the topology.
okay.
It's just simply change the topology. Shape, it will retain the shape, but change the topology, and it will basically follow the shape. Whatever the shape you have created, it will follow that. Yeah. One sec, I'll take attendance quickly. It's 4 o'clock. It's already there. Akshay is here. Arnold is not there. Andrews is there. Piyush, Prem Gopinas. Okay, I'll see you guys Wednesday. Bye bye.